I'm going to go through the process of lighting a coal fire for anybody that has never done it and wants to know how, or for anybody that's going to need to do it for the first time maybe. This particular one is a combined stove and back boiler, and the fire is contained within this section here, and surrounding it on the sides, top and back is a water jacket. The water jacket is heated by the fire and it's pumped by a pump, and that warms up your hot water in the water tank and your central heating. An open fire is the same principle. Quite often an open fire will have a back boiler as well, which is the same principle as a water jacket. It's just a little tank, and that circulates the water and heats up your hot water in a hot water tank through a coil heating system. But enough of that, we don't want to get into any of that business. Before you start your fire, you'll have some kind of riddle system with the bars at the bottom, and shaking it by whatever means is appropriate. In this case a removable handle, sometimes it'll be a handle down here. You'll be able to riddle all of your burnt ash and such into a pan below, which you then remove and empty by taking the front plate off. Sometimes the front plate is on a hinge, you'll just hinge that down and pull the pan out. But it's all the same principle. Your ash falls into the bottom under the grate. Okay, you have an airflow adjuster which moves a flap down here. You also have little grills on the front of the doors which can open and close to adjust the airflow further. And this particular one is thermostatically controlled. There's a thermostat wired up to this on a sort of a bimetallic contact, and as the fire heats up, this closes up to avoid it getting too hot, and it will open and close accordingly to the heat. So it's a very crude thermostatic device, but you know, they've been around for long enough and it does the job. So you clean out the ash pan, and you've cleared this out here. You've made sure that your flue is clear. I tend to clear this once every sort of week or so, and give it a really thorough cleaning at the flue area and the throat plate. Turn up your little dial on the side to its fullest setting because you want full airflow, and we'll begin by removing this so we've got better access. You will need some matches or a lighter, some fire lighters or a fire lighter, and some wooden kindlers. So lay out your kindlers in a grid pattern. I tend to sort of do it crosswise like this, and there's no specific reason why. You can do it whichever way suits. That's just kind of become a bit of a habit with me, so that's the way that I do it. But you're basically laying 2 layers of kindlers in a grid formation, and this is to allow airflow and to make sure that your fire lighter doesn't drop down underneath and straight through the bars at the bottom and into the ash pan, thereby being useless. So 1 fire lighter and a good cross of kindlers is all you really need. Light the fire lighter, throw those to one side, and give that a minute just to start getting going. You then take your bucket of coal or your scuttle of coal. In this case it's a scuttle, but whatever you happen to have. And the same principle applies incidentally if you're making a wood fire. The difference is you'd still use kindlers, and then you'd build your logs up, starting with a few small pieces and wait till it gets going. Now with coal, the bigger the pieces of coal that you can put on initially, the better, because this allows airflow and it allows them to burn better. Small pieces will work as well if you don't have large pieces, but the bigger the better to initially begin with. And basically what we're doing here is just clustering the coal around the burning fire lighter, and then ultimately on top of it. So you're building a little cone of coal all around the fire lighter. And what this will do is concentrate the heat into this one specific area, and it will allow the coal to reach a temperature that it will ignite and burn at, so that once it gets going we can just throw more coal on and that will spread quite easily. So that will do for starters. At this point I close the door too, and you can see that burning there. Maybe I should have cleaned the glass at the front so you could see it a little better, but you can see that burning away there, and we'll leave that a few minutes, and once that coal has actually reached its flash point and started to burn, at that point I can throw more coal on straight from the scuttle. Okay, we're about 3 minutes further in, and that's burning away more than merrily enough for my liking. You can possibly see, if we just zoom in before I do anything else, it's actually going to be tricky to see because the way the camera sensor picks up light, it makes it tricky to see the paler orange glow that you can see at the bottom of the coals, but basically they've ignited at the bottom, they're actually burning now. And they're the ones that are maintaining the heat to burn the rest of the wood. But anyway, what I'm going to do at this point is throw in, as I say, about 1/4 to 1/3 of the scuttle, building that up around the centre and back, and then leave that to catch before I put the rest on. But at this point, essentially the fire is lit. You really can't go far wrong at this point unless you hurl a bucket of water on the thing. Okay, that's plenty for now. Just enough to cover the flames. And you can see that smoking away, and there's still some flames at the bottom there. That will catch nicely. The rest of the coal, the coal that's burning, will heat that up quickly to ignition point, and that will be burning away merrily in no time at all. And really that's all there is to it. As I say, once that's burning, I wait until the heating pump has started working, but as soon as you're happy that that's burning well enough, you could throw the rest of the coal on, or as much or as little as you need to do. And there you go, how to light a coal fire. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Definitely an option, and I think it's an option that we've seen before and it worked very well, so why not have that back?
I've had enough of you, and I'm leaving it. I'm going to win Manisha, the first ever female team principal. How does that make you feel?
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.